Hello and welcome back, everybody, but probably nobody. This is ThorW, and we're very near the end of our journey through Dark Souls 3, but before we put that last Lord of Cinder's head onto his throne, we do have a couple of side quests that I'd like us to knock out before doing so. So first things first is after the Twin Princes have been defeated, if you go back to the Grand Archives, there is something very interesting back there. I'd suggest taking this elevator shortcut, as it takes us pretty much where we want to go. Pretty much. So up we go. Play whatever elevator music you've got in your own mind. And, okay, so we're up here at the top. We're going to go backwards through the courtyard. Past the wax statue. I love that wax statue. It looks so silly. And right over here back into the Grand Archives. Towards the top of the area. And down this ladder, which, I mean, you can use the ladder if you're a nerd. And you'll notice that over here is the corpse of our friend Orbeck of Vinheim. Don't shoot my friend, you nerd. You can't hit me. So, let's head on back to the Firelink Shrine. Orbeck, much like Greyrat, made his way through Lothric Castle, got pretty far, but Lothric Castle devours men. No one who goes in comes out alive. Except maybe for us. So, now, in addition to Greyrat's ashes, we have Orbeck's ashes. Umbral Ash of Orbeck of Vinheim. With this, the Shrine Handmaid will prepare new items. Orbeck was fascinated with sorcery, but without means, so offered to serve as an assassin in exchange for acceptance into the Dragon Academy, believing that one day he could reinvent himself as a sorcerer. So this shows that Orbeck did have a bit of a tragic backstory. He always did want to be just a sorcerer. He just thought magic was cool. Wanted to be a good guy too. But he had to offer his services as an assassin in order to get into the Dragon School, and then once he turned undead, they turned him away. So, there are two things you can do with Orbeck's ashes specifically. You can give them to the Shrine Handmaid if you have not bought all of Orbeck's spells. However, if you got his ashes from there, then you recall that Yuria...
Speak freely, thy lordship. Our lord and liege, I prithee.
Just that. But anyway, we can tell her of Orbeck's death. She wanted his ashes.
I see Orbeck's claim is proven false. As it should be our right and deserving Lord of Hollows. It is a Londor treasure befitting of a true Lord. Lord of Hollows, may the dark sigil guide thy way.
So we get the Morian Blade for doing.
Oh Lord, and I prithee.
Yeah. So, let's take a look at the Morian Blade. The Morian Blade is actually pretty interesting. So, standard straight sword, regular attacks with some thrust, a twisted sword resembling the towers of Londor's Sable Church. 8 branching blades and thorns induce bleeding. The church's blessing makes the weapon revel in the agony of its owner. Heavy losses of HP boost attack, a curse most befitting of its deformed appearance. So the Morian Blade has the effect of the Red Tearstone Ring. As you recall, the Red Tearstone Ring, like I said before, when you are at 10% or lower HP, your attack is boosted by a percentage. The Morian Blade does so as well, and it stacks on top of the Red Tearstone Ring. If you put both of them together, you basically get the power of the Dark Souls 1 Red Tearstone Ring. So that's a very interesting thing that I thought that we should talk about. Now, if you recall, Cirrus has fulfilled her duty, is no longer in service to us as she has died, which means that we can finally, well, offer that to the Lord. I didn't mean to do that, but we can finally talk to you. And he says go to Azaria. But since we've already offered up the cinders of a Lord, that kind of ruins our pacing now, doesn't it?
The 5 lords sit their 5 thrones, all thanks to thee, most worthy of lords.
Yup.
Ashen One, with the lords as thy witness, bend thy knee before the bonfire's coiled sword, and let the lords' embers acknowledge thee as their true heir, a true lord, fit to link the fire.
So yeah, she wants us to talk to this bonfire. I'm gonna try not to. I'm gonna find out if I can talk to another bonfire and postpone that a little bit. I didn't mean to actually throw Lothric's cinders up onto his throne right there. I meant to talk to Leonhardt, but whatever. There's other bonfires. Come on. Come on. Any second. There we go. Alright, loaded. There's other bonfires. We're gonna go over to this Udex Gundir bonfire and see if perhaps I can postpone taking a trip on the Mr. Bones wild ride. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So, we're gonna go to the Rosaria's bedchamber bonfire now. Yeah, we're kind of beating around the bush a little bit. On purpose. I mean, I want to get this side quest out of the way first. So, since Cirrus didn't want us to have anything to do with Rosaria's fingers and is now dead, we can finally do quests involving Rosaria's fingers. Oh hey, look, it's you. So this man grub appears after a while. This man grub is very special. This man grub is actually Yellowfinger Hazel. And is absolutely non-hostile. How do I know it's Yellowfinger Hazel? Well, Hazel Pick and the Xanthus Crown. Which I'm pretty sure I already had. Did I not? Yeah, see? Hazel Pick and Xanthus Crown. So Yellowfinger Hazel changed her appearance and became a horrible man grub. Awesome. Now then, if we come over and we offer a pale tongue to Rosaria, or change her appearance, or pretty much interact with her in any way that uses a pale tongue. First of all, Cirrus will hate you, but she did. Second of all, Leonhardt will transfer himself here.
So, you've chosen to serve Rosaria after all?
Sure, why not?
She will be pleased with me for finding her another finger. But be warned, my friend. Rosaria's fingers need only fetch tongues for their mistress. Otherwise, we are free. Unchained. Like Yellowfinger, you can choose to believe that all fingers share camaraderie. But do not force your romance upon the rest of us. Rosaria's fingers, otherwise you are free to do not.
Okay. So Yellowfinger Hazel thought that pretty much everyone was all buddy-buddy, and, well, that's her reward. She became that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to travel elsewhere real quick, pretty much anywhere. Go to the catacombs, why not? And then we're going to come right back, because something will happen. What will happen? Isn't it obvious? No, isn't it? Like, really, Leonhardt suddenly appears in Rosaria's bedchambers for the first time throughout the entirety of the game, the second that you interact with her. Well, we'll find out what happens when Leonhardt decides that he wants to take notice of Rosaria in your presence. As soon as we finish the loading, come on, there we go, perfect. Rosaria is dead. Hold on. I want to examine. But she still works as a Covenant thing, completely. We pillage the remains, we get a black Eye Orb. This is a mechanic from Dark Souls 1. Also, it is a black Bayolet, much like the red Bayolet, which is the red Eye Orb, which is just ripping off Berserk again. Anyway, Arcane Orb left on Rosaria's corpse. Have faith her soul can be retrieved by invading the world of her killer and returning victorious. The black eye is proof of vengeance, but often appears serene as it casts its gaze toward Irithyll. So that is the hint that you need to go towards Irithyll in order for the black Eye Orb to be usable. Now, where in Irithyll do you have to go? It doesn't tell you, but we're going to go to the Aldrich Bonfire. The Aldrich Bonfire. Yeah. Any second now. Come on, load. There. So back here in Anne Orlando at the Aldrich Bonfire, now we need to go up one of these corkscrew platforms. Just need to wait for the elevator. And we need to go all the way back into Guinevere's bedchamber from Dark Souls 1, and you feel the black eye orb quivering. So, selecting our inventory, and we can now use it to invade the world of Rosaria's killer. Who could it be? Could it be the Shrine Handmaid? Or perhaps it was Ludlith. Maybe it was Andre. It was the Firekeeper. Oh, it was Leonhard.
Expected to see you
Duh.
here. Couldn't resist her any longer in all her festering glory.
Well, you know.
And now you want to ravage her soul as well.
Well, you make
I
it sound
save
so
the
hot.
seeds, I'll prune the mess.
So he's in here.
Leonard,
There he is.
swear so upon my vows to the goddess.
So Ringfinger Leonhard has a pretty unique weapon, and he does most of his fighting through spellcasting. I'm going to let him do a couple things. You see he has the Farron Flash Sword, he has Homing Soul Mass, that I didn't dodge there, whoops. And he has a unique weapon that inflicts magic damage, and come on, do it. There we go. Can shoot a crescent moon at you. Pretty cool.
No one will despoil her soul. Certainly no beast in human skin.
So this guy looks like a Bloodborne person, a Bloodborne hunter, and he talks about beasts. I mean, you know, Bloodborne. He's Bloodborne, man. I'm trying not to kill him immediately because he should have more dialogue, I think. You want to say something, Leonhard, or are you just going to take this beating like the bitch that you are? Guess you're just going to take this beating. Goodbye.
Blessed Rosaria.
So in his death rattle, he says, "Blessed Rosaria." Hooray! And once we have killed Ringfinger Leonhard and the game loads us back into our world, we get the Soul of Rosaria, the Crescent Moon Sword, and the Silver Mask. So, Soul of Rosaria, which is the weirdest soul of them all. Mother of Rebirth, soul by Ringfinger Leonhard. Return this to her extant corpse, and Mother Rosaria will spring back to life as if nothing had ever happened. Which really annoys me. She does spring back to life. It is as if nothing ever happened. There is no thank you for saving my soul. There is no extra dialogue. She just continues working as a Covenant leader as before. There's not even any Covenant-based reward for returning her soul. There's absolutely no reason to give her soul back because she even still works that way. It's the stupid Queen of the Vile Bloods from Bloodborne all over again, where returning her soul does nothing. Yay! Awesome. So, in addition, we got new weapon, the Crescent Moon Sword, Ringfinger Leonhard's weapon of choice, a type of shotel imbued with the power of the moon. Leonhard set out on a journey of rebirth, but decided instead to serve the goddess as a knight, and inherited this weapon. Assume a broad stance and fire off a crescent moon blades with the Crescent Blade skill. And finally, we got his hat. which is somewhere. Somewhere. Eventually we'll come across it, look at it. It was the silver hat or whatever. Well, it's guaranteed that I passed it, because I went all the way through everything at least once, but, where is it? Oh, there it is. Silver Mask. Silver Mask of Ringfinger Leonhard. In his youth, Leonhard suffered grave burns to his entire body. His face in particular, which he hid beneath his mask, was horribly scalded. He abstained from restoring those injuries even after becoming a Finger of Azaria. Which is interesting. How he would choose to, not heal those injuries at all for some weird reason. I don't know. And this also allows us to go over here and talk to Emma. So on top of everything else she's selling, she will now sell Leonhard's garb. Garb of Ringfinger Leonhard. Leonhard was born into royalty, which is believed to be the reason for his skill in both sorcery and swordsmanship. Indeed, his dingy garb is in fact embroidered with gold thread, betraying its purpose as military wear designed for a noble. And decorated with silver, meticulously tanned. And we can get the clandestine coat, traditional coat of the Vinheim Dragon School. Normally a deep blue color, this black variation is a sign of a sorcerer engaged in surreptitious work. These were covert agents who excelled at manipulating sound. This is Orbek's coat, which we got from Orbek dying, obviously. And I think that's everything. That is absolutely every bit of armor that the Shrine Handmaid can sell. Whoops. We're gonna buy it all. I'm rich. I got money. I got money. And by money I mean souls. I got souls at the yin-yang. All the sunless stuff. Very, very nice. And we can also give her Grey Rat's ashes, because no one else wants them.
Gracious and awfully warm at that.
Awfully warm.
Almost as if it had lived mere moments ago.
Yeah, shut up about Grey Rat. He's my friend.
Forgive an old woman's idle prate. I'm sure an ashen one such as thee would never indulge such base contrivances.
Shut up. Seriously, shut up. Shut up about my friend. And now she will sell everything, and I mean everything, that Grey Rat once sold. She will also sell them at the discounted prices that Grey Rat sold stuff at. If you don't remember, Grey Rat sold everything at discounted prices. So anything that he once sold at discounted prices, now she will sell at discounted prices. And on top of that, I believe she does get a couple of new things. Not a lot, though. Not the night set. I believe it's just a few, like... I think the splintering bolt is new. Yeah, bolts that explode immediately after being shot. These are, after all, prototypes created by the weapon craftsman Edmund. You'll get what you pay for. Makes unusual shots possible and releases splinters that cause immense bleeding. And exploding bolts. Bolts that explode on impact and deal area fire damage. And yeah, those are the new things. The splintering bolt and the exploding bolts. You get what you pay for. So if you never send Grey Rat out, you will never be able to get the splintering bolts and exploding bolts. However, at the same time, Grey Rat lives. So it's kind of a fine trade-off, if you ask me. But still, Grey Rat had this purpose in his life, this desire to go out and try and do some good with his life. He didn't want to just sit around and die over time. He wanted to go out, he wanted to be useful for someone, and in the end, he was useful to us. So, we're all out of side quests. We're all out of stuff to do. All 5 lords sit upon their thrones, including Lothric, who we never looked at his face here, but this is what Lothric looked like. underneath that garb, before he became some sort of weird, twisted, semi-draconic thing, which you could tell by the size of his hands. He had those yaoi hands going.
Ashen One, with the Lords as thy witness, bend thy knee afore the bonfire's coiled sword, and let the Lord's embers acknowledge thee as their true heir, a true lord, fit to link the fire. Farewell,
Well, it's about time. And as you recall, we began this game as a nobody. We aren't a dancer. We aren't a wolf knight. We aren't some antiquated princess. And we're certainly no nameless king. At the end of the day, beginning of the day, no matter what has transpired across the entire duration of this game, the only thing we are is a knight. We began the game as a knight, we're going to end the game as a knight. Whenever I can find these stupid gauntlets. This is the bad part of having all of the equipment in the game available to you, is it takes a moment or two to go through one thing to the next. We began the game as a knight, we will end the game as a knight. Let us kneel.
noble lords of Cinder, the fire fades. And the lords go without thrones. Surrender your fires to the true heir.
Sprinkle it on me, baby. The ash of the Lords of Cinder.
Let him grant death to the old gods of Lordran, deliverers of the first flame.